Level 1. The Selection Candidate. The iron-scented Virginia rain turns the red clay of Quantico into a thick, visceral sludge that clings to your boots like a debt. It is 0300 hours, and the darkness is absolute, broken only by the rhythmic, strobe-like flicker of an instructor's flashlight against the downpour. Your lungs burn with the sensation of inhaling crushed glass. Your pulse is a frantic drumbeat of 180 beats per minute. You carry 85 pounds of wet cordura and steel on a spine that feels like it is being compressed by a hydraulic press. The air is heavy with the smell of diesel exhaust, damp earth, and the sour metallic tang of extreme physical fear. Around you, the silhouettes of other candidates vanish into the mist, their spirits breaking in total silence. You have 45 seconds to memorize a grid of 10 faces before plunging into an ice-filled trench where the water is exactly 4 degrees Celsius. Your skin turns a bruised shade of violet, and your muscles seize, but your mind must remain a surgical instrument. This is the bottom of the food chain, where human identity is stripped away and replaced by a serial number. You aren't a savior. You are a biological machine being tested for structural flaws under maximum atmospheric pressure. Level 2. The Tactical Breacher. The world is reduced to a 3-foot-wide door frame and the heavy industrial weight of a 35-pound hydraulic ram in your callous grip. You stand in a stagnant hallway smelling of dry rot, stale cigarette smoke, and the sharp chemical ozone of a live blasting cap. Your breathing is slow, deliberate, 6 deep inhalations per minute as you wait for the green command through your bone conduction headset. On the other side of that reinforced oak barrier, a high-value target is barricaded with a hostage. The air tension is so thick it feels like a physical weight against your tactical vest. You apply the strip charge with the precision of a jeweler, the adhesive backing sticking to your Nomex gloves with a faint, surgical snitch sound. When the breach initiates, the overpressure hits your chest like a localized shockwave, a deafening boom that tastes like pulverized wood and burnt gunpowder. You are the first shadow into the chaos, stepping over splintered remains while the white smoke of the explosion is still swirling in the air. You don't see rooms, you see structural weaknesses and entry points, calculating the resistance of hinges and deadbolts in a fraction of a second. Level 3. The Point Man Assaulter. You move through the kill house with the fluid, predatory grace of an apex killer, the weight of your 416 Hong Kong dollars rifle serving as a literal extension of your central nervous system. Your reality is filtered through the green, grainy phosphor of night vision goggles, where every shadow is a potential threat and every doorway is a fatal funnel. The air inside the target building is stagnant, carrying the greasy aroma of gun oil and the sharp, coppery scent of fresh blood from a previous room clear. You hear the frantic thud-thud of a suspect's heart through the thin drywall, a biological rhythm you were trained to terminate. Your finger rests on a trigger with a 3-pound pull, a microscopic distance between peace and a double tap to the high thoracic cavity. Every corner is a geometric puzzle solved with a high-intensity tactical light that cuts through the darkness like a white-hot blade. You process targets in 0.4 seconds, friend, foe, or non-combatant. The brass casings hit the concrete floor with a rhythmic, musical tink-tink-tink, a countdown of expended lethal energy in a room that has become a tomb for the lawless. Level 4. The Sniper Observer. You are a ghost embedded in the damp leaf litter 350 yards from the objective, wrapped in a ghillie suit that smells of rotting vegetation and wet burlap. You have been motionless for 17 hours, your bladder aching, and your core temperature hovering at 35 degrees Celsius. The world is a circular, monochrome image through a 12-power Schmidt and Bender optic. You track the target's respiration, 12 breaths per minute, watching the rhythmic pulse in his neck through a gap in the heavy velvet curtains. The wind is a low-frequency hum, moving at 6 miles per hour from the northwest. You adjust the turret with a tactile click-click that resonates in your skull. You are not a participant in the violence, but its ultimate arbiter. Your reality is defined by the ballistic coefficient of a 175-grain projectile and the curvature of the Earth. You whisper data into a boom mic, your voice a dry rasp, providing the God's eye view for the team stacked at the back door. You wait for the 1-inch window of opportunity where the hostage's head moves away from the captor's chest, a silent hunter in a world of noise. Level 5. The Tactical Medic. The floor is slick with something warmer and thicker than water, and the air is saturated with the sickly sweet, iron-heavy stench of hemorrhaging life. You are on your knees in the debris, your gloved hands buried in the viscera of a teammate while flashbangs still echo in your inner ear. The lighting is a chaotic strobe of red and blue emergency strobes. You ignore the screaming and the clear calls, focusing entirely on the 3-inch arterial spurt from a femoral wound. You apply a combat tourniquet with a violent, mechanical twist, the nylon webbing creaking under the tension. You count out loud, 1, 2, 3. As you drive a 14-gauge needle into a collapsed lung, the hiss of escaping air the only sound that matters in this basement. Your uniform is soaked in the DNA of a man you've trained with for 5 years, but your hands are steady, operating with the cold, detached precision of a machine. You are the barrier between the morgue and the hospital, calculating fluid loss and blood pressure, while the smell of cordite and burnt hair hangs over you like a funeral shroud. Level 6, the team leader. You stand in the center of the stack, the center of gravity for 12 men who would walk into a furnace on your command. Your radio is a chaotic symphony of 3 different channels: intelligence, air support, and ground elements, which you filter into a single cohesive tactical map in your mind. You smell the aggressive, sour sweat of your team, the scent of high-octane readiness that triggers your own combat reflex. The responsibility is a physical pressure heavier than the 60 pounds of gear on your back. It is the weight of 6 wives and 12 children waiting at home. You make the push call based on a 3-degree shift in a suspect's posture seen through a thermal imager. You don't fire your weapon unless the system fails. Your primary tool is the human chess pieces you move through the house. When the package secure call goes out, your heart rate barely dips below 90, already calculating the extraction vectors and the potential for an ambush during the 2-mile drive to the landing zone. You are the architect of the violence, ensuring it is applied with surgical economy. Level 7, the Operations Commander. You sit in the Mobile Command Center, a darkened van 3 blocks from the crisis site, surrounded by the hum of cooling fans and the blue glow of 14 high-definition monitors. The air is filtered and sterile, smelling of burnt coffee and expensive silicon. You see the world in heat signatures and satellite pings, a digital god overseeing a theater of blood. You are managing the political fallout in real time, your ear to the phone with a director in Washington, while your eyes track the blue force icons moving through the building. The temperature inside the van is exactly 21 degrees Celsius, but you are sweating under your crisp white shirt. You are the one who signs the final option order, authorizing the use of deadly force with single comm words spoken into an encrypted line. You balance the lives of the hostages against the national security implications of a failed mission, a cold calculus that leaves no room for empathy. You watch the countdown clock on the wall, 14 seconds until the breach, feeling the silent vibration of the city around you, unaware of the war being fought in its shadows. Level 8, the Section Chief. Your world is now one of mahogany desks, silver service coffee, and the faint, dusty scent of old law books in a Washington office. You wear a tailored suit that hides the scars on your forearms and the slight tremor in your hands from years of concussive blasts. Your weapons are no longer made of steel. They are budgets, legislative hearings, and classified memos. You sit in meetings where the temperature is always a comfortable 22 degrees Celsius, yet you feel a phantom chill from the Virginia rain you stood in 20 years ago. You look at the digital dashboard on your secure laptop, seeing the readiness levels of 5 different teams across the country. You are the guardian of the institution, the one who defends the quiet professionals against the bureaucracy that feeds them. The silence of your office is louder than any explosion you ever witnessed. You are the ghost of the operator you used to be, a strategist who understands that for the world to remain safe, a small group of men must constantly prepare for the worst 10 seconds of their lives. Your legacy is not the men you killed, but the ones you brought back.